Hey everybody, welcome back to Greybeard Disc Golf. Today I am in the Disc Drome, my backyard. I've got my basket, my net set up, and I've got a new-ish, I mean I've had it for a while, but it's new to me, piece of kit. That is the ThroForm, this wild thing right here. I was lucky enough to get a private session with Nick Culver, who's a Discmania pro, last year, and one of the things he identified was something I kind of knew, but he really helped me kind of hone in on it, and that was the fact that my power pocket was collapsing. I'll post a short clip here of the recent video I did of the Axiom Insanity, and you can actually see I actually hit my chest as I was pulling through, and it's been an issue that I've had for a long time. Whenever I try to power up, the power pocket starts to collapse. Well, this device was invented specifically to handle that problem. And one of the problems that I run into is that when I try to pull through, and if the power pocket collapses, I lose the effect of the tip of the whip with the elbows not out far enough. So instead of coming through like this and getting that snap effect, I'm just coming through and I end up muscling it through, and this elbow drops quite a bit as well. So the ThroForm should help me keep my arm at a 90-degree angle, should help me keep that power pocket open, and should also help with leading with the elbow and keeping my elbow up, which is another issue that we identified as well. So the ThroForm is from Reps Sports. It comes in 3 different sizes. It also obviously comes left or right. Now, they have it on the site for $49.99 US right now. I think I bought mine in pre-sale for about $70 Canadian plus shipping. So I paid almost $100 for it, but I think it's going to be worth it if I can start to open up that power pocket and start to unleash some of that extra power. Most of my power has just come from muscling through the disc right now, and I don't think that's sustainable, particularly as I get older. It came with this great little card, and the little card's got a QR code you can scan to go to YouTube and watch some videos. This is basically everything you need to know to actually put this on, fit it, and then start using it. So I've already read this. I've got a pretty good idea what we're doing. You can also go to the website and see they've got a great little video that actually explains all of this as well. So let's get to it. Let's put this on. All right. You know, the quality of this thing, I want to talk quickly about the quality of the product, is actually phenomenal. And you can see the ThroForm that's embroidered on. It's not just silk screened on. The webbing is kind of heavy duty. There's this elastic piece here as well. And the cuff has got some great padding, foam padding in there. And the Velcro is nice and wide. And the webbing on there is pretty high quality as well. So this is actually really well built. It should last me a long time. Now, I also have my GoPro set up. Hey there. So we can show from both angles as I'm working on the actual throws themselves. All right, so let's put this on. All right, Ron, we're fitted. Now for practice, they suggest starting with standstills. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my Makos. Again, if you remember the Mako video, I love the feel of the Mako in my hand. I'm not worried too much about the disc at all. All I care about is just getting the right structure down. So, and that says start with standstills. I'm going to set my feet up. I'm just going to kind of throw into the basket, and I can immediately feel the tension there. Now, keep in mind, I can still collapse my power pocket if I want to, but as a gentle reminder to have that there, it's actually pulling the elbow back as well. Let's try a throw. And it got loose as my arm was coming through. Obviously, it loosened up and it got loose on the hand. All right, I'm gonna have to actually look at these in the suite afterwards, just to check to see if this is actually working the way I want it to. But it feels good. It feels like it's working. It feels like it's working. I'm going to slow down. That one came in a bit close. One thing it's doing, and they notice this on the video as well, is as you pull for your reach back, I can feel it pulling this shoulder back as well. Go a couple more throws. Might need to tighten this up a little bit more. It feels just a hair too loose. I think once you get it adjusted, you shouldn't really ever have to adjust it again. If I spin it around, maybe it'll sit a bit higher on my shoulder blades. All right. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Sitting up a bit higher on my shoulder. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can feel that. Let's try with a bit of a run up here. Certainly feel it. I mean, if nothing else, it's making me really acutely aware of where my elbow should be. It's not forcing my arm at all, really, because, well, maybe a little bit, but it's making me a lot more aware of what's happening with my arm. And with this thing on, I just want to keep it up. That felt way better. You're going to want to use it quite a bit. You want to practice with it a bit. You want to create the muscle memory. So while instead of going out and throwing 500 of these in your backyard and then hoping that it's fixed it, you're going to want to do this repeated. You're going to want to do this once a week. Do a session where you're just putting it into the net, or even in the field if you really want to go run down and chase down the discs. A couple more. Yeah, right there. Yeah, as I kind of go up on my shoulder like that, you absolutely feel it. All right, let's take it off and see how, if there's been, all right. See if I can remember, start with the standstill, see if I can remember kind of the feeling of it going through. Definitely feel the difference. It's a lot more loose. I can feel that power pocket starting to collapse a bit. So I think if I were to continue to use this a lot, I think I could build up that muscle memory. I think I could build up the strength where it needs to be as well. Yeah, when you put it on and when you start to use it, the first thing you're going to question is this actually doing anything? It doesn't really feel like it's doing much until you take it off. And now, having taken it off and had a few throws, I can see this is absolutely, it was absolutely making adjustments. It was absolutely working. Let's do a couple of run-ups. I wanted to pause the video here for a second because at full speed, it's kind of difficult to see exactly what's going on. So let's have a quick look at a couple of throws with this ThroForm on. This is the first throw I did with the ThroForm actually on. So I just put it on and I'm about to throw it. I've got it and it's a standstill. So let's have a look at it from the front side. I'll just scrub slowly to the right and you can see a bit of an improvement already. The angle's better. I think maybe it's a little bit too open. Maybe I can work on getting that closed down to 90 degrees. And also, my elbow's dipping a bit, but as you can see, we're definitely not collapsing, and I'm not going to hit myself with that disc. So let's look at that as well. This from the back angle, from behind. You can see, so it is collapsing a little bit, the elbow, and mostly because the elbow's down. So let's get that elbow up next time we work on it, and that should make a big improvement. And now, after I had the device on for a little bit here, there were a couple of really nice throws in there. This one I think particularly. Let's have a quick look. So this is when I started doing the run-ups. I'd done a couple of run-ups, and ignore my back foot. That's another issue altogether. So here we go. We're getting into the throw, plant, and through. So that position there, really happy with that position there. And then you can see that whip right there. Something funny's happening with my offhand, but that's okay. Right through like so. Let's have a look at that from behind as well. Again, maybe the power pocket's closing a little bit, but that elbow is up in a much better position on the pull through. And lastly, I wanted to have a look at a throw without the ThroForm on at all. So this is after I had taken it off to finish up the video. And let's advance it forward a couple frames. And you can see, still not, the position looks, the body position looks pretty good. The elbow's up a little bit. It's maybe not as high as it could be. And then you got that whip there. So some of that body memory, some of that muscle memory has stayed in place. But if we look at it obviously from behind, you can see too that it's collapsed quite a bit. So, and that might be because my elbow was pushed a little bit too far forward. If I was at a 90 degree to my chest, it would probably have a lot more space to pull through. All right, back to the video. All right, so there we go. That's my first look at the ThroForm. I might follow up with this a bit later. I'm going to use it a few more times. I'm going to try to do it once every week or maybe once every couple of weeks and just get about 15 or 20-minute session in each time and just see how that's going to help improve my power generation. I don't know that it's going to make me throw a lot further. Who knows? That insanity and the crave, I tell you, I got some distance out of those I never thought I could get. And I think that's when things were really clicking, where the odd throw where my elbow was in the right position. So once we start to get that consistency, then I can start to see probably my game improve. And I think that's one of the big things for an amateur player. If you can create consistency in your throw, then you know that it's going to come out and be going in the right direction and with the right amount of power. Then I think you're laughing. I think that's where you want to start, especially if you're a beginner. Work on getting your throw consistent, and then start to develop your power, start to develop your shots from there. All right, thanks again. We'll see you again next time here on Greybeard Disc Golf.